Hi guys, we're going to make pinwheels today, and for that you would need cheddar cheese, probably 1.5 cups, mushrooms chopped, 2 mushrooms. This is what I do. I take off the skin and chop them in pieces. That's 2, yeah, and 3 spring onions. That's also chopped into pieces. Some salt, pepper, and some whole grain mustard, and also the puff pastry, which is what you get here is ready rolled by Sainsbury. You could use anything that's available there, but this is the one I'll be using. So let's get started. Okay, so what I did is to take off the puff pastry ready rolled out of the cover and open it up and roll over a rolling pin and stretch it a little more so that you get a thin layer. From what it was, you made it probably the half size. That's what you've done here. So stretch it into something that is half the thickness of what you actually got in your the cover. That's what you do initially. Now to make the spread, what I would do is to mix up the ingredients of the cheese, mushrooms, and the spring onions into a bowl and spread it. It's as easy as that. So okay, so keeping this aside, I'm going to take a bowl, and in that I'm going to add my spring onions, the whole of that, the mushroom, that's also chopped like I'd shown you earlier, chopped mushrooms, and the cheddar cheese. You could probably just add little and see how well it goes, and then add the rest. So that's what you get mixing it up together. It's that simple as that. And to season, you could add some salt. I would add just a little so that you keep it low on salt. Some pepper. It depends upon your taste buds, If you want a little more spicy, you can add some more salt and some more pepper. Otherwise, you could just leave it at that. How much ever you want, yeah. And for me, I'm just adding some mixed herbs. This is also from Sainsbury's. I'm adding a little mixed herbs into it, just to give that extra flavor, Anything you do, you could do your own way of it and make it something different from what you see in a recipe or a cooking show or cooking thing, yeah. So you could just make your own style of things, and that becomes your dish, as simple as that. So now that what you've got here is just a mixture of spring onions, mushrooms, cheddar cheese, salt, pepper, and some mixed herbs. Now what you're going to do is going to layer this on into the pastry, just as so. Just evenly, even if it's not evenly, it just has to be put into the whole sheet. That is the pastry that you have rolled out. Okay, so now what you do is just spread this across, Spread it so that it's evenly distributed throughout the sheet. And it is at this point that if you would want to add some more cheese, like so. So I guess that's enough of the filling. Next, what you would want to do is add a little of the whole mustard, like I'd shown you. This is an extra thing that you could do. You could even use pesto. This recipe actually was given to me by my cousin, and this is my innovation to what she had done. She had used actually a pesto and cheddar cheese, and that was it. So what I've done is I've incorporated some mushrooms, spring onions, and instead of pesto, because I didn't have any at home at present, so I used some whole grain mustard as an alternative to pesto. Yeah, so mustard is something that gives you a kick, so be a little careful when you use it, and don't use too much, so that it doesn't cause that flavor when you eat it. Yeah, so that's about it. I just put in few drops here and there, and that's about it. Now what you would want to do is to fold the puff pastry inside. Be very careful and gentle when you do that, because it's a very, very fragile sheet, so it can stick to your paper, as you can see here. But be careful and do it the right way, and I think you should be fine. This is what we've done. Finally, we have rolled up our sheet completely. So what I did now was to cut the puff pastry and place it on a baking sheet, a baking tray which is lined with baking sheet. So as you can see, I've given enough space so that when it expands, that's what is happening. That's what's going to happen when you put it in an oven. It has enough room for it. So that's why there's a lot of space again, but I've given it enough space or enough room to expand. And what I've also done is to garnish it with little salt and pepper, and put a little brush of butter on top so that it gets that golden brown color. That's what I've done. When you put it on a baking sheet, I would suggest that you press it down so that it gets a flat bottom. What you do is place it into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes. Please keep an eye on it in between so that it doesn't get, burnt. Okay, so at the end what I decided was, instead of this long strips, I made it into round. So this is what is going into the oven. I had a few pieces extra, so that has been put in already, and this is going to go into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this has been taken out from the oven, and like I said, you can see the golden brown shade on top. That's mainly because we put a little butter and the cheese is, sort of melted and got a little brown. Yeah. So now what you do is let it cool down for some time, and then you can plate it and enjoy. Let me know how you like it. See you soon. Bye.